Imagine this. You walk into a room. You don't say a word. She sees you. Her eyes flicker just for a second, a glance so quick it would escape anyone else. But not you. You saw it because you're not like everyone else. You're not here to impress. You're not here to perform. You're not even here to chase. You're here because you know something most men never figure out. You don't win her over by talking more. You win her over by talking less, but saying exactly what needs to be said. Let me tell you something that will haunt you once you realize it. In the first 2 minutes of talking to a woman, you either position yourself as a man she craves or one she forgets. And the tragic part? Most men blow it before they even finish their second sentence. They think talking faster, being funnier, over-explaining them, or listing achievements will do the trick. But deep down, women don't listen for words. They listen for tone, for energy, for how you hold your silences. You want to get laid? Stop selling, start signaling. And here's the secret. The way you speak in the first 2 minutes tells her everything she needs to know about your inner world. Is your voice rushed? You're anxious? Are you trying too hard to be clever? You're seeking validation. Do you over-explain, over-talk, over-justify? You're not used to being heard by power. Now, let's flip the script. Imagine you say nothing for 10 seconds longer than she's comfortable with. You just look at her, calm, collected, like you've got all the time in the world. Suddenly, the energy shifts. You've taken the frame. You've claimed the tempo. She's wondering who you are, why you're not chasing, why you're not performing like the others. And that curiosity, that's what cracks the door open. That's where desire is born. Because she can feel it now. This man isn't here to be chosen. He's here to choose. This is the 2-minute rule. You have 2 minutes to reveal through tone, posture, presence, that you're the kind of man who doesn't need her attention, but gets it anyway. And the less you try, the more magnetic you become. The key is emotional discipline. The art of slowing down your word, pausing longer than necessary, and refusing to chase the silence. Most men fear awkwardness. Stoic men own it. They understand that silence is a pressure cooker, and when you stay calm while she starts fidgeting, giggling, over-talking, you win the game without saying a damn thing. 'Cause here's what Stoicism teaches. He who angers you controls you. He who speeds you up owns your rhythm. And he who owns your rhythm owns your frame. So when you speak, speak deliberately. Let your words land like they matter, because they do. Don't fill the space, command it. Because what you're really showing her in those 2 minutes isn't just your voice. You're showing her your nervous system. And if your nervous system is grounded, hers begins to orbit yours. Welcome to Primal Psychology. Welcome to the language of silent dominance. Section 2. Breaking down the 2-minute rule psychologically. Let's get surgical. The 2-minute rule isn't about pickup lines, tricks, or being alpha. It's about psychological authority. It's about tempo, restraint, and emotional control. The deepest cues women pick up on without ever being able to explain why. We're talking about attraction that bypasses logic and goes straight to the nervous system. Why? Because at her core, a woman doesn't just want a man who talks well. She wants a man whose voice feels like gravity. So, let's break it down. Minute 1. Her brain is not listening. It's scanning. In the first 60 seconds, her conscious mind is barely involved. She's not evaluating your words. She's not thinking, is this guy smart, funny, or hot? She's scanning for threats or value. Her subconscious mind, forged by evolution, is doing the heavy lifting. It's asking, does this man need my validation? Is he trying to prove himself? Is he in control of himself or chasing me emotionally? Can he stay centered in the face of unpredictability? And the answer is already there. Not in your words, but in your tone, pace, and how you respond to silence. This is where most men fail. They get jittery. They talk too fast. They try to fill the space. And in doing so, they betray the single truth she's most attuned to. If he can't handle silence, how will he handle me? A woman who is beautiful, powerful, or emotionally complex is not impressed by chatter. She's impressed by containment, the ability to hold space, to not flinch, to make her feel that you're rooted like a mountain no matter what emotional weather she brings. And that brings us to the most dangerous weapon in your arsenal: pacing. Slow talkers are not just confident, they're in control. Think of men like Marlon Brando in The Godfather or Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men. Their voices drip with danger because they're never in a rush. They speak like their words matter, like they're not afraid of silence, like they're used to people hanging on every sentence. That's not performance. That's psychological dominance. And guess what? Women feel it before they even understand it. They lean in closer. They mirror your pace. Their breathing matches yours. Because you're not giving them energy to chase, you're pulling them into your rhythm. Minute 2. She's not listening to you. She's listening to herself. This is the turning point. If you've held the frame for 60 seconds, if you've spoken slowly, left pauses, and maintained eye contact without rushing or chasing, you've done something critical. You've shifted her attention from you to her internal state. Now she's asking herself, why am I suddenly nervous? Why do I feel this warm pull in my stomach? Why am I over-explaining myself? Why can't I read him? And right there, right at that moment, you've stepped out of the guy trying to impress me category and into the unsettling, mysterious unknown, the place where desire is born. Desire by nature requires uncertainty. If you're too available, too explanatory, too predictable, there's no mystery, no friction, no psychological arousal. But when you speak like a man who could leave at any moment, who could choose her or not, who does not need to speak to powerful, she starts imagining you. And that's the key. It's not what you say, it's what she imagines about you between your words. And here's where Stoicism re-enters the conversation. The Stoic man doesn't speak for approval. He speaks with intention. He understands that every word is either revealing your power or giving it away. He knows that silence is a weapon, not to manipulate, but to test who's really listening. And if she stays, if she leans in, if she starts filling the silence with her own voice, she's already halfway there. 'Cause now it's no longer conversation, it's polarity. Your stillness, her motion. Your containment, her flow. This is not seduction in the Hollywood sense. This is ancient polarity playing itself out in modern time, and it begins in the first 2 minutes. If you chase, you lose. If you react, you submit. But if you stay centered, if you speak slowly, calmly, and only when you mean it, if you treat words like blades, not to harm, but to cut through the noise, you don't need to game her, because now you are the game. Section 3. What to say and not say to trigger desire instantly. Let's get even sharper. By now you understand that it's not about saying more, it's about saying less with more gravity. But this isn't silence for silence's sake. You still have to speak. And when you do, what you say and what you refuse to say matters deeply. Because now she's listening not to your logic, but to your energy, your choice of words, your control, your emotional range. So what exactly do you say during the 2-minute rule window? And perhaps, more importantly, what do you never say if you want her to feel that magnetic tension that leads to seduction? Let's start with the landmines. Common things most men say that kill attraction within seconds. What to avoid? 1. The resume mentality. So, I'm a software engineer, I live in Austin, I like hiking, and I just got back from a trip to Spain. Pause. You think you're building rapport. What you're actually doing is vomiting facts in the hope that one of them sticks. Women don't fall for men based on content. They fall for vibe, for mystery, for emotional presence. So, when you start laying out your life like a resume, you put her in the position of interviewer. That's not attraction. That's job qualification energy, and she'll feel it. Don't perform, don't list, don't overshare. Give her just enough to ignite her curiosity, and then pull back. Second needy compliment. You're so beautiful. I bet every guy hits on you. You must get tired of hearing this, but these are not compliments. These are surrenders. They say, I'm already on my knees. Real attraction lives in equality of presence. She already knows she's attractive. She's not waiting for a man to tell her. She's waiting for a man who doesn't need to want to compliment her and actually trigger attraction. Do it rarely, and when you do, don't speak to her looks. Speak to her aura. You've got this strange, calm energy, like you're used to chaos. That's a line that makes her stop. Why? Because now she's wondering, what did he see in me that no one else does? That's intimacy. That's seduction. That's depth. 3. Over-validation and over-agreeing. This one's silent but deadly. You think agreeing with her will make her like you, so you nod. You say, yeah, totally. You agree even when you don't actually agree. You smile when you don't feel like smiling. And every time you do, she feels it. 'Cause women have hyper-refined social intuition. She can tell when you're not grounded, when you're bending yourself to fit her vibe. And nothing kills sexual energy faster than a man who cannot hold his own polarity. What to say instead? So now that you've cleared the noise, what do you actually say in those first 2 minutes? 1. Speak in observations, not questions. Instead of interrogating her with, where are you from, or what do you do? Make sharp observations. You move like you grew up with brothers. You've got the kind of laugh that belongs to someone who doesn't laugh easily. You're quiet, but I get the sense it's intentional. This is dangerous. Why? Because now you're framing her world. Instead of asking her to define it for you, you're already leading the dynamic. She's reacting, thinking, decoding, and most importantly, she feels seen. Women crave being understood on levels others haven't reached. When you speak in observations, you bypass her walls and speak to her deeper layers. 2. Use strategic silence after you speak. Say, line. Let it hang in the air. Don't fill the space. Don't rush to explain. Don't smile like you're fishing for approval. Hold it. You got this quiet, controlled thing going on, but I bet it unravels when you're with the right person. Pause. Let it echo. Now she's in her body, feeling, reacting, imagining. You didn't just speak to her ears, you spoke to her imagination. That's what ignites desire. 3. Ask calibrated questions that hint at depth. Once the vibe is established, ask things that create polarity. What do people usually misunderstand about you? What part of yourself do you only show when no one's watching? Do you feel more comfortable leading or surrendering? These are not just questions. they're invitations. You're offering her a psychological dance, one where she reveals herself, not to impress you, but because you're grounded enough to hold it. And in that moment, the game is over. She's no longer analyzing whether she likes you. She's wondering what else you see in her, what else you might awaken. If you felt this video speak to something deep inside you, drop a comment below with the words, "I speak from stillness, not for me, for you." As a declaration, as a marker, as a shift in who you are and how you communicate from this point forward. And if you're ready to master not just how to talk to women, but how to command your own life, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This isn't a channel for players or posers. This is for men reclaiming their inner gravity. 'Cause remember, you don't need to be louder to be heard. You just need to speak like a man who's already whole. And when you do, she won't just listen, she'll feel you.